Hello, good people. Welcome to our show. Bad people, welcome to our show. Anyone who want to learn more about digital marketing, welcome, because today we are going to discuss about holistic approach to digital advertising, how you can unite different marketing channels. Today it's important to repurpose your content, to cover the audience on different resources. And I'm so excited to discuss this topic with Filip Janczak. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to learn more. I know how it's important, today to cover various channels, to cover different audience, especially when we have limited resources. And it's
Mhm.
important to spend this money in the smart way. Philip, before we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, and anything that can help our listeners to learn more about you.
Sure. So there's my background is a bit confusing. So I used to work for, so let's say in brand for a fashion company for about 7 years as a marketing manager. So kind of covering every single marketing stream or channel. So hence holistic approach to everything. And then in 2018, me and my partner, we decided to open our own agency. So we used to freelance at the same time as well before. So we
Mm-hmm.
worked and freelance, and then decided, okay, let's do something together. Let's do so because I do all the performance marketing channels, and my partner, she does SEO. We decided, okay, let's create our own agency. We called it Creators Media, and we kind of cover the organic side and the paid side from different angles and different perspectives for pretty much all kind of the industry businesses that you can kind of imagine.
Nice, nice. Yeah, love it, love it. Can you tell about your partnership? I know it's hard, to have partners. For example, I had this experience with my two brothers, but we had different view how to grow, how to go ahead, different vision, and that was hard to have this business. We decided, to be brothers, to become, to stay brothers, but leave the business and
Mm.
anything, and they are successful on their ways. I'm successful in mine. So can you tell how you decide all things that are happening in partnership, and how you can choose the right way according to different preferences?
So our partnership is both on a business level and on a family level. So we have a baby together. Uh,
Okay, gotcha.
so we have a baby, we have a house, and obviously we have an office together and a business. We had the business first, and we lived together, and then we had a baby. So it's not like everything happened all at once. And
Yeah.
I mean, I know sometimes with family, it's really hard, and not everyone can communicate well with the family. Probably I'm not the best person to communicate with everyone in my family, but somehow me and Izzy is like we kind of find the right connection together. So we kind of right cogs. So obviously there's some grinding, and that's with every kind of business and every kind of partnership that you have. So it's, I mean, in our relationship, it's everything about the communication and making sure that both on the business level and on the family level, we kind of are aligned and we plan everything way ahead. So that's one of
Mhm.
the most important things for us as well. Is like making sure that we know what we're doing, we have it planned. And I know things kind of go out of the plan all the time, and that's normal. That's part of life, right? But
Yeah.
making sure that we kind of have a plan and some goals behind it, and supporting each other is like with any other business. So if you have partners, or if you have your colleagues at your work as well, it's like making sure that you support each other. Is We don't close ourselves, we don't silo ourselves, basically.
Yeah, I agree. And I think for me it's hard to schedule anything, to have one plan, because I often change my mind, especially digital
Exactly.
marketing, when something doesn't work, so we can try something else. But it's important to be patient as well, because sometimes it takes time to get results. I remember when I started PR,
Hmm.
and I wrote a bunch of press releases myself. I pitched all of them and got zero mentions, zero backlinks, zero. But I learned how it works, and I hired the right people, who can write press releases, who can distribute them, and we got mentions on CNN, Forbes, many other resources because of having the process. And can you tell about creating the right plan? You mentioned you have the plan on your business. Cool.
Mhm.
But what about marketing plan? How to create holistic marketing plan to cover different channels and choose how to spend budget in different channels. For example, like for paid marketing, let's imagine 100K, for SEO 50K. Any tips about that?
That's a good question. I mean, there's lots things to unpack in your question, but let's start from beginning. So first thing, let's say we work with a fashion business or with I don't know, with builders building kind of houses or sheds. You kind of have to always start from beginning. So understand what is their goal and what's the story behind what they're doing. So if it's a fashion business, so who's the founder? Is the founder still involved with the business? And then get the founder to introduce you to every single person on their team, and making sure that you talk
Mhm.
with all the leaders within the team, but not just marketing people. Talk with the wholesale, talk with the finance people, because that way you get different angles to the business, and you get to understand how the business works and what's the vibe behind the business as well. So let's say like with us with Creators Media, it's more on the family side. We support each other. With fashion, it might be that they're sophisticated, or they're very Gen Z or Gen Y concentrated. So you get that kind of vibe first, and then you sit with all those people, with all the big heads, and making sure that you talk with the rest of the team as well, because sometimes you get best ideas from new people in the business as well, because they got fresher looks on everything. So once you talk with everyone and you have like a big brainstorm session, you can find out what works for the business and what doesn't. And obviously have a look at GA4, or in the past you would look in Universal or any other dashboards that the business might have, and see what already have worked. If something is working, don't break it. You can try to kind of improve it by A/B testing, but don't break it. Introduce new channels to it and see if we can improve the channels that are not working for the business, or find out why they're not working. Maybe they didn't have enough resources. Maybe they did not do the right ads, or maybe they were not running ads. Maybe they were
Mhm.
just boosting posts. So finding out
Yeah.
those things first before you do anything, because I know there's lots of people that just jump into the first they join the company, and I don't know, they're a new director or new marketing manager, and they make changes straight away because this is what used to work in other companies. I mean, that's not my way. My way is to find out what actually worked, what doesn't, and how we can improve it first. So kind of do the research first. So first few weeks for us is usually finding out as much stuff as possible about the company, and diving into analytics and making sure that you understand the data behind the business, because every business is different. Even if you have two businesses in the same industry, they're going to be completely different from each other, and they have different goals and different KPIs than the business sitting next to it. So understanding those, I think that's a key to any kind of marketing. But with holistic, because you're covering every single channel, you have to understand everyone in the business.
Mhm.
And then once you
Yeah.
understand everyone, you can start planning. So
Yeah.
how is organic working? If it's working, great. If it's not working, what can we do from the SEO perspective to improve it? And I get Izzy to do that, and her team. So that's her part, and that's fine. Then we get to social and see if the social is working. Are they running any campaigns? So are they doing any paid campaigns? Are they doing any PR campaigns? Any stunts? Anything cool or crazy that some brands like to do? If they do, that's great. If they don't, maybe we can come up with some kind of a brainstorm session and get them to do some crazy stuff that people like to do. And
Yeah.
then you cover your SEO and your social organic, and then you move to paid, because with paid you have to have a good basis with the organic to start promoting their brand basically. So understanding
Mhm.
if they did anything. If they didn't, let's try different channels. And for me, it's always about A/B testing. So see which channel actually works, because not every channel might work for your business, and that's completely fine. So we just need to test and see what works, what doesn't. And I know many companies, they're scared to test, and they're scared to try new things. It's like if you tell a company, "Oh, let's jump on TikTok," it's like, but we're not the brand that does TikTok. It's like, have you
Mhm.
tried? Have you ever done any TikToks?
Yeah.
And probably not, but they assume stuff. It's like they assume that, oh, this is not my kind of company. this is not kind of the thing that we do. But it's like, if it's going to work, it's going to bring you millions of followers, of traffic, and revenue. It's like, why not to try it? So sometimes persuading the teams to make sure that you try new stuff, it's actually hard. But then testing and proving your points, that's the biggest reward for me. It's like to show them that there are channels that will work for your business that you have never tried. And that's the easiest thing to do. It's like, if they haven't tried something and we introduce it to them, that's the lowest hanging fruit you can get. It's like, you just show it to them, get it run, get some results, and they'll be happy.
Yeah, I got it. I want to ask about covering a lot of channels, because you mentioned about TikTok, about we have many channels, SEO, paid marketing, Google ads, Facebook ads. But the biggest struggle that I usually see when companies are trying to cover a lot of channels. Of course, it's okay to repurpose content, but I see when people are doing for the sake of doing, because competitors can cover many channels, and it's hard, especially when you start. It's better to pay attention, to some channels that work for you, where you have strong side, where you can bring something new. So can you tell your methods, how to create this holistic approach to cover many channels from scratch?
Yeah, so the first thing that you mentioned is making sure that you have at least one person designated to those channels, so to social, and they can reformat and repurpose and rewrite content for, let's say, for between Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and so on. And obviously the content that they can produce. So can they produce videos? That's almost the most important question for the social part, because if they cannot produce videos in house, for them to get an agency and do it for them, usually that's quite expensive. So I always get the person, at least someone in the team knows enough about the brand to create any kind of videos that are kind of more personal, and it can make them short. And that's the beauty of TikTok and YouTube Shorts. You don't have to spend lots of time on creating content, and just get one brave person to do videos for you, and just post them and see what happens. Is that if they don't work, that's it. At least you tried. If they work, great. You get more traffic and more revenue, and the person has another job on the list to do for social. So that's with the videos and content. So image, you can also create animations. So you can do like I came up with like an idea of that you can do quizzes depending on the industry, and I've seen that happening quite a lot on YouTube lately. That you have a quiz about fashion, a quiz about lingerie, quiz about shoes. And you can create that kind of video basically in a few minutes without spending too much time on it. You just need to have some kind of a data, and you can use Canva to basically create a video behind it, and you have an animation with a video and a quiz in one. So you can make them easily. It's like, as long as you have someone to actually do it and to post it, and persuading the team, especially if you have a board or someone on top of everyone else, it's persuading them that there should be enough time invested in different channels and making sure that you try new channels as they rise, like Threads or TikTok. Because if you ignore them at the beginning, it's going to be harder for you to grow at them later down the line, because there's going to be brands established in those channels, and that's why you see brands doing better in some channels and worse in others. And that's about repurposing the content and making sure that you actually touch the language that is relevant to, let's say, Twitter, to TikTok, to Instagram, to Facebook. And you can use similar content, but just slightly changing the copy, slightly changing the video or the image. Maybe on Pinterest, we can concentrate on stills, on Twitter as well, like promote statics. And on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok and YouTube Shorts, you can focus on videos, and then you can do both at the same time, because you can take screenshots of the videos as well, and then you've got plenty of content from there. So
you didn't mention one social media, Threads.
Threads. I'm trying both at the moment, because I'm not sure what works and what doesn't. It's hard to put the video. It's hard to put sound on Threads at the moment. It's like, I'm not sure when you try to look at videos. So always have captions on. There's like captions somewhere on the video. I think that's quite important, especially for people that travel and sometimes they don't put their sound on. So at least they can read what you're saying. But with Threads, we're trying both. It's like no image, and video, and seeing what works and what doesn't. But there
Yeah.
we have some brands that are already on Threads, and they're doing quite well.
Yeah, you mentioned that some channels can work, some channels don't. That's okay. I often have this issue. But for example, you mentioned that if you have someone in team who can film these videos for TikTok, if it doesn't work, it doesn't mean it doesn't work. You can experiment more. You can go
Yeah.
ahead because I remember when Mr. Beast posted content on YouTube, he filmed videos for 18 months, year and a half, to film videos to get the first 1,000 subscribers.
True.
Today, everyone knows about Mr. Beast. PewDiePie filmed videos. He filmed like 100 videos to get 285 subscribers. He didn't give up. He kept going, and yeah, today we know that PewDiePie has like plus 100 million subscribers, and it's patience. You need to do this job, and I don't understand when someone can tell this channel doesn't work for me. Probably you don't use the right thing on this channel. You need time, patience, or someone who can help with that, marketing agency or content creators who can create content that this channel will love. It's not because it doesn't work for you. It works with the right approach. And can you tell about experiment? Okay, if some channel doesn't work, but we need to change something, to experiment, to find another angle how to use this channel. Can you tell how to do it, how to brainstorm ideas, what to change in your marketing strategy?
So it's the thing that you've mentioned is repurposing the content that you have and finding the right language for a given channel. So with YouTube and TikTok, it's going to be completely different, even though that they do both shorts and TikTok, they're both short formed. But YouTube, like let's say this, you have a podcast, you can have longer videos, you can have an hour or 2 hours videos as well, that kind of work. But it's finding what works for your audience, is like what you mentioned, but also making sure that you actually can do it and whether you can deliver or not. So sometimes it's about whether you have enough resources and time within the team to make sure that those channels are fully utilized. Sometimes I tell them, like, listen, concentrate on few channels at first, and then keep adding them as you go along, because you can at least see some results. Because sometimes people just copy and paste, and that not always works. I mean, that barely ever works. And then they'll say, okay, Pinterest doesn't work for us, Twitter doesn't work, we only gonna stick to TikTok and Facebook. And it's like, but you're missing so much more audiences, because with Pinterest, 70%, I think 70% or 68% are women. So you're losing a lot of women audience on Pinterest. If you're not going to take TikTok, you're going to lose millions of potential followers. So finding the right content, it's important, and that's your experiment. It's like, what kind of language and what kind of tone works in every single channel, and then you test the content. So what kind of videos? Whether do you have to be funny? Do you have to be loud? Maybe the quizzes doing enough job for you to kind of do just animations without actually showing your face. Maybe get an AI, like a robot, and create an AI personality that talks for you. So it's your words, but someone else is saying them. Maybe that's the thing that's going to work for your channel. And that's the experiment. It's like checking different things that might work. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You just try something else. Sometimes you come back to the same content, and you might see that the old content is actually working after you gain your followers. It's like, I would never give up. It's like always try and see if you can improve on the content that you're creating, but you have to invest some time into it. It's like there's no shortcuts. You have to invest time and just carry on working on it. And that's for social, and that's for SEO as well. That's how SEO works. And you get so many professionals.
By the way, you can give up, and it's not wrong with that. If, for example, I gave up with many channels because of losing attention to channels that work for me. For example, I remember when in 2020 I decided to grow my audience on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, everywhere. And the best results that I got, like 5-10 followers a day, a few hundred views. Then I decided to switch all attention to LinkedIn. And I got like plus 10,000 views a day. I got 200 500 people a day, who follow my content. And I got it, yes, this channel works for me. Why I need to lose attention, even with the goal to repurpose content? Of course, it takes, you don't need to create from scratch, but you can lose this 5-10 minutes, with channel that work very well for you. So that's why it's not a big issue if you give up, if you suffer of that. No, for me,
Yeah.
it's important to enjoy the process. If you enjoy the process, you can go ahead. It doesn't matter even if you don't have results. You can make everything wrong for 5 years, but you need to enjoy the process. You need to love it. And I remember interesting podcast with a friend of Jeff Bezos, and he told that he couldn't get results for 14 years. 14 years without results. He didn't give up because he loved his process. He loved and today this company is over $1 billion, plus 50 offices in, I don't remember exactly the number, like plus 56 countries where this company has offices. And it's interesting. I remember another book when the book author shared a story when someone reached out and asked for help because this author couldn't sell his books for a long time and he suffered a lot. And she replied to him, leave it, forget about that. If you suffer, you don't need to do it. You need to enjoy. If you enjoy, you never burn out, you never give up, you just go ahead. For example, I love playing ping pong, basketball. Nobody pays for my hobbies. It's my
Exactly.
hobby.
Yeah.
But I enjoy the process. People love watching TV. They pay for watching TV. So yeah, your job should be a hobby. Then you never give up. But if you suffer, if you dislike it, leave it, and you will never regret. And Philip, I want to ask about creating the right KPI, because I see when companies chase vague metrics like traffic, comments, likes, shares, but if traffic doesn't sell, why I need to have this traffic? I remember one webmaster told me he lost 400,000 traffic, but he didn't lose any sales. Just imagine how hard to get this traffic that didn't cover your sales funnel, doesn't help your buying persona. So can you tell how to create the right strategy considering KPI and many other parameters that will bring results in the end?
That's the hardest question that every CEO will ask you. Is like, how are you going to bring that revenue back to our office? So if I go with TikTok, how are you going to monetize the content there? And then you have to explain that the whole process of the upper funnel, mid funnel, and then as you come kind of shorter to conversion, and then obviously retargeting. So that's the most important thing, is making sure that you educate whoever you're working with to understand how Google Analytics works, or how any dashboard that they might be using that has some kind of analytics within it, to understand what is traffic, what is that traffic doing. So if I bring traffic from Facebook and that traffic doesn't buy straight away, does it mean that it's bad traffic? Probably not, because that traffic might come back to you through Google Organic, or maybe they're looking for discount codes, so they might come from one of the publishers that you're working through affiliate marketing. Is understanding where are your touch points. So if on every conversion you have a touch point on your Meta, on your TikTok, on affiliate marketing, they are contributing to that one conversion. So it's understanding, and with GA4 that makes it easier, because the data attribution is concentrating on the full funnel. So on the full conversion. The only trick with GA4 at the moment is making sure that you recreate all the reports and you understand the data behind it, and understand how the data changed from Universal to GA4. And sometimes that's hard, because you get CEOs saying, okay, this channel brings lots of traffic, no revenue. We're not going to invest more time into that channel. They cut the channel and they see that the revenue overall for the whole business drops even more. And what that is telling them is basically, okay, we cut the top of the funnel. We're not driving enough new customers to convert through other channels, like through email, or maybe through affiliate marketing, through Google, through PPC. And this is the hardest bit, explaining how every touch point actually plays a part in one conversion. And this is, if you go outside and you see those big companies, you see them on the buses, you see them in underground, you see them on every single building, and it just sticks in your head. Digital marketing works in the similar way. We have, so how many social mediums are you using at the moment? You've mentioned 5, right? So you have LinkedIn, you have Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. So that's 5, and there's Threads, and there's way more. And those are the touch points that one person might have, is making sure that they see you in every single touch point. And this is just social media. Then you have Google, you have your SEO. If someone is typing and looking for a certain keyword, are you going to display? Are you bidding for the PPC keywords there as well? It's like making sure that you are remembered through the actions that you're doing, because every touch point will make into that conversion. Sometimes investing in wrong keywords is going to cost you a lot of money, and investing in the wrong ads and targeting wrong people that just are traffic but doesn't ever come back and doesn't have enough touch points, that's bad targeting. So understanding the data and understanding the whole journey, not just the last click or who's coming to the website, but understanding the whole funnel and getting the touch point is basically the key to understanding the data. Because the more touch points you have during one conversion, and the more, because I think on average we have at least 8 to 16 touch points, and we don't even think about it. You take your phone, you scroll your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok, you see a brand, and then you start looking for them on Google. You see some kind of articles, and that article, that can be a PR agency doing them, or possibly an affiliate marketing publisher. Then you click on that, and okay, you're going to check their website. So you start Googling them again. And then from Google, you go directly to their website. And then maybe you buy straight away. And that last attribution will go to Google, even though that the whole arsenal of digital marketing played part in that one conversion. So getting them to understand the data and every single touch point is the key to understanding how each channel can attribute to good conversion. And again, you get bad conversions as well, and bad paths. So if you drive traffic from a country that you don't deliver to, you might end up with lots of traffic, but nobody buys because you don't deliver to the country. And I've seen that happening quite a lot. It's like everyone targeting so wide that basically targeting the whole globe. It's like, no wonder your ads are so expensive if you're targeting everyone, even the countries where you don't ship. It's like nobody's going to buy stuff from you if you don't ship to them.
I'm okay with that, if it's organic reach, because people are traveling, we live in this global environment, so we can be everywhere today. I mean, in the US, tomorrow in Poland, in Ukraine, and other countries. So it depends. And you mentioned a few times about GA4, Google Analytics 4, and I have the same feeling, about GA4 when people change the car. How your old car works, how you can drive it, but when you take a new car with much better features, simple experience, you need time to learn how to drive this car. Anyway, you need to spend time with that. I think it's the same with GA4. When people have the habit to use universal analytics, I don't know how many years, probably a decade, but today they need to learn something different. It looks the same, but when you click, you understand it's different. So, just spend time with that. If you spend time with a new car to enjoy the process in GA4, to learn how all these features work. And Philip, I want to ask about struggles. Can you share struggles that companies have during the way in holistic approach, and your tips how to simplify the experience of having the struggles?
The biggest struggle I've seen lately is tracking. So if your tracking is not correctly done, or you don't have tracking for every single channel that you're using, this is becoming a struggle, because you cannot prove to someone that something works if you cannot track the traffic and if you cannot track the revenue. And I've seen that on the ads. So with Meta not having the right pixel, not converting to copy in time, so they were doing ads and they didn't have any pixels in place and they were just boosting posts. And huge companies done it as well, which is sometimes it's crazy, but because the overall revenue wasn't dropping, they were fine with it. They were fine with spending lots of money. But once they installed pixels and server tracking, then they could see the improvement in revenue. It's like, oh, okay, tracking plays a big part. It's like, well, yeah, it does. It's like that's how you test stuff. That's how you try different things if they work or if they don't work. So tracking is the biggest struggle. Also, with tracking in GA4 at the moment, sometimes you need developers to actually do it for you. And most developers don't have experience with how to set up tracking. They understand the code, but they not might understand what is important for marketeers to be on the back end of the system. So sometimes sending them enough instructions and enough resources for them to understand what they need to place on your website, that's a key part. So it's the communication with both the developers, with the CEOs and marketers, and making sure that they show what they need to track and what are the goals and what kind of goals do you want to track on your website. So if you have a subscription business and you're just tracking conversions but not the leads, then you might be losing a big part of the funnel on your website. And that's why talking with the marketing team, with your developers, with the SEO team, and with your CEOs, and making sure that everyone comes to one meeting and agree on what everyone wants to track and what are the goals in the business and what the goals for their departments, and share it all together, write it down, and make sure that we set it up and test it. And that all comes to tracking and making sure that everyone has the common goal of attributing the right channels, of attributing the right conversions. What is a conversion for a business? Whether it's buying products. If it's products, that's easy. It's like someone bought the product, that's conversion. But if it's leads for businesses, when does the conversion happen? Is it over the phone? How are we tracking that? And making sure that everything is connected and everyone talks to each other. So that's the biggest struggle. Usually people don't talk to each other and they just focus on their job, which is sometimes is funnel vision.
Yeah, especially with salespeople. It's important to speak with salespeople because they know customers. And it's interesting. I read a lot of marketing books, and many of them were written before digital, and I love them. I love because all aspects that we have today in digital, all of them were related to marketing as well, about personalization, about learning customers. We lost the track a little bit when CEOs could game the system, when that was possible to game the system, but when Google and many other social media platforms learned how to overcome this cheating. It's hard today. It's not good time. It's better to get back to the common marketing and think more about customers, not how to cheat the system to get results, because today it's tough. You can't over smart Google, you can't over smart social media. They have experience with that. Probably someone cool, I don't know. But it's better to spend all efforts with white hat SEO, with legal methods, and you can get results. Filip, I want to ask about mistakes. Can you list mistakes that companies can avoid? Because, for example, in my life, I made a lot of mistakes. Some of them are terrible, but I can learn from them. I can learn.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what happened. I can learn. And sometimes I can feel it's not mistakes. It's like the part of the process. You can learn, you can go ahead. And can you list mistakes that companies can avoid? To learn before doing something.
Yeah. I've seen a few mistakes and both on the paid side and the organic side. Is on giving up stuff. That was the biggest mistakes for some companies, like giving up one of the channels that they thought it wasn't performing organically, but turns out that it was bringing enough traffic for the website, but they didn't have a lot of followers, but the traffic was coming. And when they didn't check Google Analytics, they just assumed it's like, oh, we don't have enough engagement, we don't have enough followers, and they closed the channel without actually checking the data, and then trying to get that channel back and making sure that you get that traffic back, that costing them more time and money than by just continuing and at least checking analytics. Many people don't check their analytics and don't see the data behind each channel and how it's performing. And checking analytics within the channels that you have, that's also another thing that people tend not to do. It's like they concentrate on conversions and they don't see the whole picture. So they don't see every single touch point. They see, okay, there's not enough purchases from Meta. Let's close it. and and I've seen that so many times. Oh, let's just post less and let's not do ads. And they stop it and they see every single channel dropping. And we did the test once for Valentine's with it was quite a big company. They have 7 sites and they decided to do it for one site only. So turn off all the social ads. So they carry on their PPC, they carry on all the affiliate work, and just turn off their social ads. Because on the last clip, it looked really expensive. But turned out when they did turn it off. The CPA increased because they still had to pay for affiliate marketing, for PPC, and so on. But they were not bringing enough new traffic for that traffic to convert. So everything in price increased, but they lost most of the traffic, like 80% of traffic was gone. And because of that, they lost conversions as well. That was one of the worst Valentine's they ever had in that country for that website. And that proved to them like, okay, it was a test. It was worth doing because at least you didn't do it on one of the biggest sites where you would have a way higher regret. But they've done it on the smaller side and they've learned from that mistake. And that was a huge mistake, turning off all your ads for an established e-commerce brand in that country. That wasn't the smartest idea. What I would do in future, if you want to check if your ads are not working and you're already established and you have some kind of budget behind it, cut the budget in half and see what happens. And based on that, you can see the results. It's like do little steps before you do that big step of canceling something out.
Yeah. Filip, I want to ask about your experience. What I found that we usually get good results with companies who understand SEO. So if they understand, then we can cooperate together to get great results. If they don't, I tell them, take my course, learn from Lily Ray, Jeff Coyle, Mike Phillips, Chelsea Alves, many other great experts. Just learn. Go to YouTube, Google, learn, get the basic. So if you understand the basic, then we understand why we need to create high quality content, what kind of content to create, why we need to think more about sales than about getting more traffic, many things. We speak one language. Let's imagine you started today from scratch without any experience, knowledge, skills. It's your first day in digital marketing. What will you do today to learn from scratch?
I would learn SEO from scratch because I don't do it. So that gives me high. But for me, it's building the organic pillars. So one of the first organic pillars is your SEO. So making sure that your website is ranking, that the technical side for it is done correctly. If you don't know how to do it, get someone that understands SEO and that can help you out. So get an agency or employ someone that understands the technical side of SEO, and then get someone that can build on top of it. So who can build content, who can bring you links and so on. And that's the organic part. And same goes with social, making sure that you try every single channel and try different tones and test and make sure that you actually get the foot into everywhere you can, basically, because then you learn what works the fastest and what takes a bit more time to work, because everything's going to work for for huge companies. It's not that like they miss any channel. Some channels are better for them, some channels are worse, but they have big following pretty much on every channel. And this should be the same attitude for everything else. It's like, and that's how I've done things from the beginning, making sure that I'm basically everywhere and just so I wouldn't change that. I would just go to every single channel and see what works, what doesn't, and build my team on that, basically. So get them, okay, so our social organic is working, get someone to take over, and then you can try the next channel and build another team to do affiliate marketing, then build PPC, working on your SEO, and get everyone to contribute together, making sure that you have common campaigns. And that's actually quite an important thing to do as well, is to have that shock effect, making sure that that companies, especially in retail and fashion, where they have a campaign that can shock you. And those campaigns don't have to cost a lot of money. Most of the time, it's about the creativity behind the campaigns. So this is what Bluebella done a few years back, and they sell lingerie for women, and they did invite all the influencers from their Instagram to come to Oxford Street on the main crossing and do a catwalk in the lingerie. They have not paid models. They invited their own followers, their own customers to do it with them, to have like a fun project. And they didn't spend much on that. And it's like finding the ideas like that and make them as shocking as possible, making sure that you invite PR people, so all the journalists, so they can record it and show it to them. Make sure you record it yourself as well, and show it on your social, because someone will pick it up. Someone will see nice, cool stuff. And it's like where there's good energy behind it, and don't make it dangerous, obviously, unless you really want to.
Yeah,
But then keep it
nice.
safe.
And Philip, I have the final question about the future. Today we have AI. It's trending, and it's hard to ignore this tool. That was simple, but I think it's impossible tomorrow to ignore AI. Apple is going to launch this headset. I don't know what kind of headset will be, but it's like it's like glasses, and you can watch everything without. But I don't see a big difference, because if I have my smartphone like this, most people watch their smartphone every single day, so it's like the same experience, but you don't need to have on your hand. Just it's on your head. Anyway, it's augmented reality is coming. Probably virtual reality will change something, but what we see that Mark Zuckerberg failed to get results with that. But I don't know. Probably will be new attempts. We don't know what kind of future will be, but many things are coming and technologies are coming fast. Can you tell what kind of future will be in digital marketing and how we can adapt today to this possible future?
It's a bit of what you said and a bit of following the trends. So AI, if you ignore it, you're gonna lose big time, because AI can help you, and people are scared of AI for some reason, and some people embrace it, and it just improves their work. You got ChatGPT, great for ideas. If you lack an idea, if you have some kind of a block, you can use ChatGPT to give you more ideas for different many things. There are AIs that can create videos for you. There are AIs that, like with Adobe, it helps with the background changes and so on. So if there are brands that can implement AI within their own ecosystems, and then that helps customers to make their life easier, it's hard to ignore. They're gonna pick it up and use it. And the old companies, or the companies who do not adapt, they will lose on that. They're going to lose the new customers that might come to that in future, because they're not following the technology. They're not following the right trend. And then the other thing is following the right trends. So, for example, we have Threads that launched recently. There are many companies that still not on it for some reason. It's super easy to actually open it up and invite all your followers on your Instagram to have Threads and things like that. I'm sure in next year, or in 2 years or 5 years, there's going to be another social medium that's going to come out live, and that we're going to have to embrace and just try out and see if it works or doesn't. So it's just following those trends. If you're not on the right, let's say, train track, you're going to derail, basically, or you're going to stop at the wrong station. And you're going to just stay behind before you catch up with other brands, other businesses, or other agencies. So it's following the trend and embracing new technologies like AI in this case.
Yeah, nice. Love it. Philip, it's a big pleasure to get on my show, to learn from you. I love this experience. Thanks a lot. You're from Poland. That's cool, because I know Poland helps a lot to Ukraine in this tough time that we have. UK helps a lot. It's a big pleasure to get this support, because I have many people from Ukraine, friends. I still have business in Ukraine. I keep helping, donating them. It's tough. And thanks a lot, that you originally from Poland, and I love it. And tell our listeners the best way how to keep learning from you, how to reach out to you, how to follow you.
So first thing, everyone follow Anatoly and what he's doing, because this kind of stuff like podcasts and learning from each other, I think that's the most important thing that you can do is collaborating. And it doesn't matter where you are. I'm based in the UK and I'm originally from Poland, and I've got family in Ukraine as well. So it's connecting with people and making sure that we connect together. And you can find me on every single media channel that you can imagine, whether it's LinkedIn, Twitter, and so on. And look for Creators Media. You can find our website. There's a logo there.
Yeah.
You can just type in the name, and if you need help with marketing, whether it's organic or paid, you can always come to our website. And thank you for having me. And it was great pleasure of talking to you and sharing holistic approach with you.
Yeah, that was fun and valuable. Guys, you can find the link to the website and social media accounts in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Thanks again for your time. Love it.
No worries.
Valuable. I recommend to anyone to follow Filip on social media because you can see a lot of value. Okay, love you. See you.
Thank you.